Alright, so next into the bowl we go with 2 tablespoons of regular oil. Again, this can be any kind of oil. I've used olive oil and found that it's not as good, strangely enough, but you're certainly welcome to use olive oil if you wish. And just let the excess oil drip off there. Actually, you can use your scraper and get it off that way. Okay, and then next we go into the bowl with our yeast mixture. Just pour it all straight in and then get the spatula. Does it have to be perfectly clean? No, it doesn't. And the very next thing we're going to do is also go in with a cup of hot water. So again, you can go back to the tap and just use regular tap water. Better not to use boiled water. Just 1 more cup. And that goes straight into the bowl as well, and we're ready to start mixing. So we go down, latch, and I'll put this up to number 4 because it's pretty liquid, and just let it get going. Probably let this go for a minute or so, and then you can use the spatula to kind of pull in the pieces that haven't been mixed, the dry flour pieces that stuck to the side of the bowl. And then add in 2 more cups of flour, regular white flour. We're done with the whole wheat at this point. It's just the white flour from this point on. And you can see here that there's pieces of flour that the dough hook is not getting. So at least at this point I found that you need to use the spatula. After you get a decent amount of flour in there, it does start to pull away from the sides of the bowl until we get to the very end, which we're going to have to use the scraper 1 more time. Okay, 2 more cups of flour. Again, sort of just not super specific in terms of exact measurements here. We more or less at this point have enough wet mix that we will be putting in dry mix now until the dough is managed to be worked. So here we go. And you'll let this run until it gets nicely mixed. This is going to end up as a fairly liquid mixture or a fairly sticky mixture. We'll probably go in with at least another ½ cup of flour, and at that point let it mix until it's nice and put together, and then we'll get in there with our hands. So let's let this go for a little bit. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, this has only been going for a couple of minutes, and you can see now that we've got a pretty good dough here. Pretty mucky. I'd probably, like I said before, put in another ½ cup or so of flour and just let that continue to mix in. Back to it. And actually, before I get that going, just a quick note that because I'm making 2 batches of dough, I've now started the next batch of, here, let me get this. I've started the next batch of yeast. So while you're working on your first batch, if you're making 2 batches, you should get your yeast going on the next one. Okay, here we go.